Hey guys, we are in game 3 of Rain versus Soulkey in a KSL 4th place match. We are going to be on Roadkill for this game. Very interesting map, very different sort of map. Definitely one of my favorite ones that they had in the KSL map pool, just because it was a little bit different from all the rest of the map. It's kind of like I would actually honestly kind of describe this as like a weird 4-player destination. Kind of. It's like destination, but things moved around a little bit. So it's a very interesting map. Lots of really interesting features with long ramps and sort of islandy bases that just have a very narrow choke leading into them. So lots of really cool stuff right here. This is going to be game 3. We're currently tied up 1-1 with both players being perfectly equal. Sees that Overlord really early on, does Rain, so he's actually just going to be able to scout right up to the top, find his opponent immediately. That's a little bit nice when you're the Protoss player, because it gives you so much freedom being able to scout first. You can suddenly decide, hey, I can just next first if I want to. I can, potentially block this pool for a little while, but that's actually very early. Well, no, I guess that's a normal 9-over pool. It looked very early at the time, but Rain knows pretty much what's going on. He's going to do a little bit of probe micro, kind of deny a couple of these patches from mining. Very annoying thing to do as a Protoss player, but because he knows the timing of this pool, it kind of allows him a little bit of extra time to get and a little bit more mining before actually sending out a probe to build that forge and build the cannon follow up. Because he's got this probe in quite early, he can go ahead and block the natural. He's going to go for the pylon block. Cool stuff. Again, this is the power of having all the information on your side as the Protoss player. You can kind of do whatever you want. So, pool is up. He's going to be keeping an eye on what comes out of those eggs right now. It's going to be 2 lings or 4 lings or 6 lings. We'll have to see. He's waiting for it. He may have to put down a second cannon and cancel it. Looks like that's what he's going to opt to do. 4 lings coming out, so good call on the second cannon. I think there was another set of lings coming out, so whenever you're up against the 9 pool, you have to make sure that you put up 2 cannons, because 6 lings can actually break a cannon early on. Just having those 6 lings there can break the cannon, and then suddenly you've got lings in your main. If you send out a couple more lings, you can kind of deny the cannon from going down in the natural indefinitely. So it can be very, very stressful thing as the Protoss player, but this is very nice play coming down from Rain. Does get his Nexus down afterwards, as well as the gateway, and just going to be transitioning into standard play from here. Pretty interested to see what Soulkey is going to do this match. Soulkey has kind of been pulling off a variety of builds. You can see that 3rd base going down in the top left-hand corner for Soulkey, so all things considered, I guess that's a fairly normal 3rd base to take on Roadkill, because trying to take a 3rd base at one of the other naturals isn't quite as strong as it is on some other maps. So having a 3rd base there kind of allows Soulkey to just go ahead and get a strong Hydra count early on. And then he can push up and take either the top right base or take another main somewhere else on the map. This probe just looking around, trying to get a read on what's going on. For those of you that don't know how to deal with probes or SCVs early on, the trick is you leave 1 lane to just follow them around forever, and then the other ones you just use to block off certain pathways where you know they're going to walk. So it makes it a lot easier to actually deny probes if you do it that way. Especially if you have a player that isn't paying very much attention, especially at lower levels. It becomes pretty easy to pick off probes early on. Very nice playing with the high ground vision over there. Needs 1 more hit on this probe, but I think the probe's actually going to regen enough shields. He's actually not going to send it home. He's going to send out another probe to scout. Oh, never mind, that's a Zealot. He's actually going to send out the Zealot to put on a little bit of pressure, perhaps. But Soulkey's not falling for it. He is staying on this probe, preventing it from getting any further scouting. That's gas the natural again for Rain, so definitely going to be seeing those Dark Templar again. Finally loses the probe. Citadel of a Dune going down. Nice thing about having the 2 cannons in the natural like that is you don't have to build an extra one when the Spire comes down. That is kind of a boon for having a less than optimal opening. And we'll just have to see where Rain goes from this. Goes ahead and starts the +1 very early on. Looks like he's actually going to get +1 air this game as well. He may have gotten it in previous games, but I haven't been paying too much attention to the Cyber Core. Love the pylon placement there. Allows Rain to easily put down some extra pylons in his mineral lines if he needs to. First Corsair coming out. Gonna be doing some scouting. Some skizzy scouting, as I like to call it. And wow, looks like actually it's gonna be the Zealot legs coming out instead of the DTs. Everything looks super standard for Soulkey right now from Rain's point of view. He's not going to be too worried about what Soulkey is doing, but having that Hydralisk in out pretty early means he's probably going to start gearing up for a big attack. Templar Archive coming up a little bit later. I think we're going to see a Corsair Zealot pressure coming out from Rain pretty soon, just to go ahead and start putting some pressure out on his opponent and doing some damage. Pretty unusual play, but I guess getting that second early gas just allows you to go ahead and start getting all of these upgrades. +1 on the Corsairs, +1 on the Zealots, as well as the Zealot legs. Again, blocking in that probe. Very important part of this play. That's so annoying on this map. The gas in the natural is kind of funky. You kind of need 4 probes on it in order to mine optimally. It is going to be the early Mutalisks again for Soulkey. Soulkey is playing very aggressively with these Mutalisks, but it seems like Rain is actually pretty well prepared for this. He's going to have the Corsairs up. He's going to have the cannons in the mineral line. He just needs to delay long enough. He's actually going to eat those Scourge shots. A little bit interesting, but making sure that he gets that cannon up in his mineral line seems to be more important to him right now. Just going to be the single DT, not going to be the double DT opening. And behind this, just going to start moving into that High Templar Zealot army. Good stuff, but this is quite a bit of Zerg already. I think maybe Rain is thinking he may have made a mistake not having the proper defenses. He's trying to buy a little bit of time for these cannons, and that's why he's sacrificing a little bit of damage on these units, but he's got nothing here. He actually might just straight up die. He's gonna have to pull the probes. Oh my gosh, there's no units out right now. He's trying to delay long enough for the cannons to get out. If he can save himself with the cannons, maybe he can buy enough time for the Templar Storm, but oh, this is such a difficult defense right now. He's already lost so many probes. Gonna lose a lot of cannons, and this is pretty much opening the floodgates now for Zerg. Zerg can just pick off that gateway and just run straight in, pick off the rest of these cannons. This might just be GG for him right now. The Mutalisks still doing some damage, lots of probes dying off, but looks like maybe Rain may have held his natural for now. No, more reinforcements coming in from Zerg. That is going to be the end. GG. Well played. Soulkey up 2-1 in this series.